fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going in the outside of both of them. Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up the
Oh my God!
Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go!
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
Mini sim race in terms of what this track has to offer again and again and again. This place cannot be replicated anymore. This place is famous for a whole number of reasons. You go up, you go down, you go around and around, but this track has something incredibly special to go alongside it. This is Mount Panorama Bathurst. This is the great circuit of all great circuits that you will find. This is the home of Australian sim racing, live on the iRacing Esports Network, a SimSpeed TV presentation. Your Monday night V8 are right here, live and uninterrupted. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody watching around the world. I'm Jake Sperry, joined by Nick Skareev alongside me here for this one. 23 turns of this iconic circuit, which goes up the mountain towards turn 2 and going through 3, 4, all the way past the Metal Grate, Skyline, the S's, the Dipper, the Forest Elbow, and the run to the fastest corner in Australian motorsport, the Chase. Qualifying is currently underway right now here, Nick, and if there is any track that any sim racer wants to win that sometimes is bigger than the championship, it's this one.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jake. A lot of hitters out there tonight. Wanting to get in really good times. Really, really hard to overtake here at the mountain. So tight. Really is like a roller coaster going up and down that mountain.
Absolutely it is. What these drivers are going to be finding here today is that this is going to be a tall order to get things correct. Brady Myers currently fastest over the opening lap, a 2:02.382, and is going to pull it over to one side because there is no chance of improvement. Third currently is Steve Janssen in the Mustang, and we're seeing a little bit of a different order coming through the opening runnings of this one. 32 cars, pretty much a maxed out field, so it's Myers, Burton, Janssen, Priya and Widders, and there's Adam Briggs over the line to go to fourth, just 6.5 tenths per second off of pole position at the moment, as up goes Jason Benz into fifth, and here comes Bolton.
Yeah, really tight field at the moment, so yeah, that top 10 separated just over a second. Just seeing Martin Bolton now going to Hell Corner. Kyle George just finishing off his lap, so we'll just see where he comes up there. See if he's up on the board. Yeah, so up in 6.
Yep, good time from Kyle George then to 6th place. He's a Boeing behind. Brady Myers is behind by 0.737. This is Damian Johnstone making his run down the Conrod towards the fastest corner in Australian sim racing, the Chase. And how important is the Chase corner to get correct? You've got to be pretty committed through this right-hand bend, especially in that Holden Commodore, moving through, and now on the brakes as early as you can, or sometimes as late, to get yourself turning here for this left-right chicane, which really does come out of the blue down this mountain. And then that final corner of Murray's is always about holding that 90 degrees, making sure that you get the good run. And Johnstone here with 1:45 left in qualifying, crosses the line and sets himself up to remain in that 17th place. Here's Mitch Mcleod in a talking car, though, a name of the past, a former champion in this series, a good 10 years ago almost it is now at this point since he won, and he crosses over the line and he goes 24th position, so time to be found for the Twitch streamer.
Yeah, just seeing Rob Bowden out on track now, so it looks like he's about to set a lap up. Sorry, he's just finished off on his lap, so yeah, just over a minute now left. Not too much time to go, so looks like if you're not out on track now, that'll be your run, one and done.
And that's going to be the worry for some drivers who are near the back of the field. This is a very large grid, and making progress through is going to be difficult. There is Fonte, Scott Fountain, over the line, 24th position, bumps Mitchell Mcleod out of place. Mitchell Bolton, though, jumps to 21st, and that will change a couple of times then on the board as he will move up into that 11th row of the grid. But that's pretty much everybody then over the line here in qualifying as we get a look at how everyone's going to be stacking up then for this race here today at Mount Panorama Bathurst. See, just popping up onto your screen around about sometime in the not too distant future, hopefully now at this point in time we will get ourselves results up on screen for this. See here just how beautiful this circuit is, moving through the left, moving through the right. It's Brady Myers on pole position, 202.382. He's got Jake Burton alongside him, one-time Scops round winner. Steve Janssen, great qualifying, up in third with Adam Briggs fourth. Jason Bentz going from fifth, and it's Kyle George in sixth place. Corey Shepherd starts this one in seventh with Tom Freer in eighth for the Pursuit Sim Racing team. Jack Widders starts this one from ninth alongside the Exto Gaming car of Corey Preston.
So from 11th, we've got Michael Talianchi and Nick Coulson. On row 7, Brad Newman to Alan Dyson. Row 8, Clint Shane Smith and Sebastian Tixer. Row 9, Jamie Johnson and Michael Rosenblatt. Then Marty Hansen and Mark A. Rayner rounding out the top 20.
Moving on then towards the mid to late field, Mitch Bolton starts 21st with Daniel Hetterscheid in the 111 East car 22nd. Then it is Samuel Collins, and at the moment they're in 24th place. James Chasteneuve, who sounds very, very difficult to pronounce. Scott Fountain starts 25th with Mitchell Mcleod alongside, making it a star-studded 13th row. Sam Devontier and Christopher Beresford on row 14 with Rob Bowden and Greg Sharp on row number 15. Stephen Kokoschka last of the drive to set a time, and it'll be a last to how far can we go challenge for Brian Borg, who did not set a representative time in qualifying there. Track temp is 21 degrees in the air, 22 on track, but winds coming in 16 kilometers an hour from the south, which is going to mean headwind on the front, tailwind down the mountain. So that's going to be a very interesting battle to see. It's 28 laps here today, 172 kilometers worth of action. One pit stop will most definitely be required here today, if not a little bit more, as we look at the cutting corner right now out on circuit. Just how beautiful that corner can be. A very tough place to get right as drivers are lining themselves up on the grid. Going to get ourselves ready for some brilliant racing action here. It is Holden front two. Mustangs then are the front three after that, and that's a green flag. And let's get ourselves going. A good start there from the third, fourth row for Corey Shepherd, but on the brakes into turn number one, it's Burton around the outside who gets it done at Hell Corner to leapfrog past one Mr. Brady Myers, who did not have the best start in the world. Almost all drivers having a good run. One vehicle taking off to the grass at Hell's Corner. That one not brilliant there for Sam Devontier making progress, but up they go towards turn two, and already Adam Briggs making a way through on Steve Janssen up onto the podium in third place. Janssen looking backwards.
Just catching them cutting now. Brady Myers again being so strong off the line.
Yes, he was fantastic, but it was Jake Burton who was even better. Look at this, side by side as they head to the next section. Oh, bit of contact there. Somehow keeps it out of the wall there. Does Brad Newman, who's done very well in the one performance racing car to hold station, but now you're side by side all across this section. Metal grate here as they go through, and now this big left to McPhillamy, which leads down to Skyline at the moment, and around the outside, one vehicle off there in the background going through, but look at that from Brad Newman, spirited defend.
Yeah, just Sam go through the dipper. That did have a car go wider over the top of the Skyline, so we might be able to catch a replay of that. I didn't quite catch who it was, but yeah, it appeared to be Mark Rayner that just ran a little bit wide, but lucky to get back on the circuit and get back in position.
Easy to do, easy for mistakes to be made. Burton and Myers, though, front two, 1/10 of a second as they hit the braking zone, into the right, into the left. A lot more curb there on the opening lap for Brady Myers as he tries to make a way through. And I believe that we've had one driver there spinning off as we just caught in the background there of shots. So someone's gone around. I didn't quite catch who it was. It's a Valvoline sponsored car. It's Kyle George.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Kyle George. He was really close to another car. We're just catching on the modem simulation replay on that. Yeah, very, very shallow into the chase. It looks like he might have, taken way too much curb there and just really unsettled the car in that. Very cold tyres. Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Kyle George. Joining back at position 31.
It's so easy to do. What do they say? Lap one, cold tyres, avoid the curbs. And that's the first thing that Kyle George has not quite done correctly. Former Hyperdrive Kyle George moving over to United. So that's going to be good as we're still on replay here. This is what happened to Mark Rayner on the opening lap. The Dan Hetterscheid down the inside, little bit of contact there between the pair of them, and just like that, straight on goes Rayner, who has to try and negotiate his way back onto track. As we go back to live pictures here, Brady Myers up the top of the mountain, through Brock's skyline, and down the hill once again. Such a fearsome point of the circuit this is, but he's looking to try and line up maybe Jake Burton. If not, maybe here we're looking, Nick, at the fact that he could be trying to play fuel save from lap one.
Yeah, that's it. The smart move would definitely be worth sitting in behind Jake Burton. Just catching all the stuff flying up from Jake Burton's car, just seeing the sparks and bits of rubber and stuff come up. So yeah, quite exciting seeing the cars, the V8 supercars at their spiritual home at Bathurst.
Exactly, you can see here all the vehicles streaming down Conrod as they go on through. Up and down you go at that section, and close, not quite yet, and a little wiggle there heading up over the curbs. He does like to pop the car up on two wheels a little bit, does Brady Myers at this stage, as we look behind at the DPR car of Andrew Dyson, trying to get by team boss there of pursuit. That is Michael Taliancic there, who is in 10th position as they make their way onto another lap. Jake Burton sets the fastest lap, currently beaten by Adam Briggs, who's in 3rd position on the road. But Dyson at the moment, you can see 4th gear, blips it down into 2nd through Hell's Corner, trying to put the power on. And this is the big issue that you have, getting stuck in a train like this.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jake. Just looking at the timing screen, everyone seems to be bunched up still very well. So it looks like, I thought possibly Burton and Myers might have made an early break and to try and break from the rest of the field, but it looks like everyone's kind of sitting in check. Yeah, 10 seconds covering the top 10, so yeah, it will be a bit of a train as they head back over the top of the mountain. Just seeing Scott Fountain.
Yeah, we certainly are here, as I've stolen your thunder a little bit. We had the same idea. Stephen Kokoschka, Sam Demontier. There is Rayner trying to go down the inside of Beresford here into turn 4 up the cutting. Can't quite find it, but has different opportunities later on. Now, this is one of the other issues that you've got when you're battling here at the mountain. You can't be aggressive too early, otherwise you're going to lose the vehicles in front. You can see Taliancic right now fighting it out with Dyson. So close these two are as they maneuver their way back down again. And it's all about setting up that run through the forest elbow. You don't get a good elbow, you've got no opportunity of making a move at the fastest corner in Australian sim race.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And just saw that slight brake lock-up. So, yeah, everyone's pushing really, really hard, wanting to get that good tailwind down Conrod Straight there.
Absolutely they are. You can see right now how every driver's pushing. It's still on for that race lead as they hit the brakes and go into the left-right chicane of the chase. And again, Jake Burton just casually holding that position and doing a good enough job right now. You can see how close Brady Myers is in the Logitech G Altus Esports. Tough week for Altus. They lost a handful of drivers, 5 of them saying that commitment wasn't quite at the level that they needed. Brady Myers still a part of that for the time being. Now looking to try and make that progress through the left then of turn number 1, and as close as ever to make that move, but they do have to be worried because that's only a second back to Steve Janssen. That might be another reason why Myers has not been committal to making that move. Worried about getting into a side-by-side scrap, adding someone else into the party, gets into the mirrors down the inside, on the brakes. Jake Burton lets him have it then as he goes on through. Brady Myers back to the front. Can he brake?
Yeah, Brady Myers absolutely threading the needle on that. Picked that perfectly, yeah, straight into that headwind up mountain straight, and yeah, got that pass done very, very cleanly.
Absolutely, and Andrew Dyson is through now on Michael Taliancic for the final spot inside of the top 10. So a very, very good move there from Andrew Dyson to move himself up through the order. And what I find really interesting here is who is actually in a great place right now. Something we haven't talked about yet in this event here on lap 4 as we get a Motum simulation replays that we have a look at this pass once again. No, we look back to the tanked SRT car. This is Rob Bowden who's running into issues then, heading down into the chase. You can see he's really tucked up behind on the brakes of Mitch Mcleod, and there he goes through, and Mcleod gets it all horribly wrong as they go on through the corner. The rejoin not brilliant, and Bowden gets dumped on the outside then of the chase. Definitely not a part of the plan there, but I was going to say, haven't talked much about Jason Bentz in 5th place. He's had a great run to that 5th position at the moment, and look how close he is actually to Steve Janssen.
Yeah, I was just catching that replay. Rob Bowden, the unlucky victim in that. It looks like they were just getting a bit too close, but yeah, as you were saying, Jason Bentz, very good holding that 5th position. Tom Freer up 2 positions up into 6th from 8. So yeah, not too many people moving around there. There's a few people here and there that have gone up and down positions, but it looks like we'll get a big change of spots when the pits start coming through.
We've just had one right now. That is Damien Johnstone in the Gone Rogue Motorsports car going through on Clint Shane Smith. So that is a comfortable move, one that gains the position, and Clint Shane Smith now down into Sweet 16th at this point in time, with a whole heap of drivers there behind. Mitch Bolton will want to be the next one moving. Jake Burton, though, has not lost the back here of Brady Myers. A couple of tenths of a second. These two are dead equal in terms of pace. And now this becomes a mind game between these two drivers and Adam Briggs there in 3rd. And that's maybe the idea that these two are going to be having right now. Try and break away as much as they possibly can and make sure that Adam Briggs is not let into the party, so to speak. It's easier to fight one-on-one than it is two-on-one.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jake. And they now have pushed that gap to about 2 seconds. So it looks like they are starting to work together a little bit. As they are coming up Mountain Straight, that will give them the advantage. But coming down Conrod, that even still that draft together will help pull them away from Adam Briggs.
Certainly will. You can see just how much they're pushing. Brady Myers so nearly collecting the wall there out to the forest elbow, having a really good run, looking like it's going to be very entertaining up and down this order for position on position. See, moving into the chase, these two are looking to try and get this move sorted, and on the brakes again, it is not quite in position for Jake Burton, who can wait. He can wait as long as he wants, try and make this move. He may even try back up the mountain again, or they could do what is effectively a case of pass to pass to pass. Now here's Stephen Kokoschko, who started all the way back on the final row in 31st. Car 31 lets Mitch Mcleod have the position, so an easy overtake for Mitch Mcleod after the dramas he had earlier on at this corner. And both of them go straight on. They get a bit complacent about hitting each other's brake markers. Both will have slow down penalties to serve, and here you can see one yellow vehicle trying to find a way through, but Mcleod served his penalty nicely moving on through this section. So now a big 4-car train, Sam Collins, wanting in on this. He's going to go to the inside trying to make this move. He's got the likes of Beresford and co on the back of this train, as well as Scott Fountain, but can't quite get there just yet.
Yeah, so Jake, now for strategy, in a big train like this, do you think it's worth maybe trying to get that overlap, trying and get out early and get the tyres and fuel done, or is it worth trying to stick out there, stick into that draft, and then have fresh tyres for later on in the race?
Depends on the numbers. As wide goes Kokoschka, side by side in the background is Kyle George, trying to get it done around the outside of turn 2 there, as we can see here. Got a lot of drivers here. That's Chasteauneuf there with in 28th, and that is a good move done there on one driver being Mark Rayner for Kyle George as he tries to recover his way up through the field. We look a little bit further forward though to Mitch Bolton at this stage. Clint Shane Smith just in front of another little train with Johnstone and Rosenblatt, but for the moment Bolton here wants to try and get this move completed. He is not quite in a position to get that just yet, but it's all about setup here. This corner narrow seems to be the way to defend it. The power down as early as possible. The corner really does fall away on exit there to Forest Elbow, but now on the straight, it's all about roaring up to 300 kph.
Yeah, that's it. And just on board with Michael Bolton, Mitchell Bolton, up to 300, and then they hook it to that right, and then yeah, hard on the brakes down into the chase. Just catching all over the track. There's like just little battles everywhere, so a lot of action. It's been quite tricky trying to catch a focus on seeing who's doing what. So we've got Jake Burton and Brady Myers only separated by 3/10 at the moment, and then yeah, there's a few battles 7 and 8. Corey Shepard and Jack Witters also very, very close together. So yes, so much action. 28 lap race. It is a sprint race, but there is a bit of strategy involved. But yeah, such a great afternoon of racing.
Absolutely. Car 2 leads car 1 then out on track at the moment as they make their way up through the cutting corner. Such a tough place to get right. So easy to loop the car around on the inside of that corner. As we look back behind, this is Michael Rosenblatt under pressure here. Damien Johnstone is making good progress through this field and would want to try and get that position. It looks like there's a battle for 11th and 12th in front of them as well, with Coulson and Talianchis that we just caught out to the right-hand side of the eyes. But for the moment, Johnstone sat waiting. This is the big issue with the mountain. So tough to make a pass on that mountain. So you have to really sit and wait and hope that you are still within that marker range that gives you an opportunity to attack later on, unless there's a huge mistake.
Yeah, just catching them come through the dipper now. All in. Oh, sorry, we're just catching a modem simulation replay.
It's fast. You can see it right now. Michael Talianchis loses the place here to Nick Coulson out of the circuit. So you're going to see this right now. The left-hand bend. This is McPhillamy where the move starts to get done, and just pushed a little bit too wide. Lucky to keep that in a straight line as Talianchis. That experience coming into play, but it does cost the place.
Yeah, Coulson just being in the right place at the right time. You would think Talianchis probably only would have lost a few tenths of a second on that slight mistake, but yeah, it looks like Nick Coulson has managed to make that move stick.
Has, and that puts him into 11th position right now, side by side to Murray's. Here comes Johnstone down the inside, and that is the move score complete on Michael Rosenblatt. So Rosenblatt stuck behind in terms of this battle now into 15th position, trying to come back here potentially at turn number 1, Hell's Corner, but can't quite put it in a position where that is going to be a reality. So that is a good run at the moment, but you don't count your chickens here around this fantastic street circuit in Bathurst, New South Wales. Stones throw away from Orange, but now they go towards turn number 2, not quite in an availability place to make that happen as they go into the right-hand bend. 4-car train now, huge slide there from Clint Shane Smith, and he's lucky he's still got tyres on the road. That's opened the door for Bolton down the inside, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Mitch Bolton has got himself a fantastic chance, and he took it with full open arms.
Yeah, Mitch Bolton absolutely capitalising on that slight mistake. Everyone's sitting so close. Yeah, putting a wheel wide would definitely cost you a position. So yeah, really close racing and so many ambitious overtakes, especially over the top of the mountain where it's so narrow.
All aboard the Bent battle bus at this stage in time. You've got Jason Bent in 5th place. He's got Freya Shepherd with us, Preston, and now Dyson trying to get onto the train as well. This is Dyson in 10th place. 5th place is only 2.5 seconds down the road from him. The big difference though, he's got 6 cars to try and get by, and Jason Bent's here, you can see, has Tom Freer, the likes of Corey Shepard will want to get in on this as well, all of whom will be looking at, okay, when is the earliest I can pit, because it might just be beneficial here.
Yeah, that's right. We're only 8 laps in so far, but it looks like we haven't had too many people pull into the pits yet. Most people want to stay out, make the most of that draft, make the most of the tyres that they've got now. Yeah, not too many people going for the overlap. I'm just catching them as they go into Hell Corner now.
Nothing quite doing for the moment as they make their way towards turn number 2 and start to get onto another lap. This is lap 9 of 28 here at the moment. We're just towards that 1/3 distance here in this race. We're on board with Jack Widders, 4th in the train going forward. And look at who's in front of them. That is, of course, Steve Janssen there in a 4th position. He's only 1.4 seconds here away from Jason Bentz, who's run wide here at the cutting. Tom Freer gets the move done. Here looks Corey Shepherd to the outside here as they run through the left-hander. This is not what they want going on through. Shepherd slightly has to fall back into line here. This is going to concertina up the train as they go up through the mountain. Preston's got to be patient here. He's someone who loves to be aggressive, is Corey Preston, but he can't quite find the move just yet. Through the left of McPhillamy Park and now towards Brock Skyline. He stays in the train, but he's having a good run at the moment, is Preston.
Yeah, Preston showing a lot of discipline with, getting slowed up by that car running wide, so not being able to capitalise it and to get around it. It is such a tight part of the circuit to get around. Oh, look at all the smoke coming out of Forest Elbow there. A lot of people diving into Forest Elbow so wide, trying to get this run onto Conrod Straight.
You're going to have to pump the brake. You're going to get through that corner pretty well as they make their way up through the Conrod Straight. Make that progress through the fastest corner in Australian sim racing, over towards the chase corners, the left followed by the right. It says Mr. Antenna, all nicely on the side there of one Mr. Corey Shepherd, and he'll be looking for a way down the inside then of Bentz, but he can't quite dial it up right now. He's got to try and have another look later.
Yeah. Big run up again, up Mountain Straight. Brady Myers and Jake Burton really unable to separate him. They seem to be holding that 3/10 of a second or so, even less as they go around, but it looks like working together has worked, because Adam Briggs now falling approximately 3 seconds behind them. So looks like Brady Myers and Jake Burton just chipping away. 18 laps still to go, so quite a lot of race distance still to go. Start thinking about strategy.
Look at
as they go too wide, yeah.
Almost too deep there as they went on through. And that's Shepherd on the outside with Preston. Almost contact there as they move on through. Preston falls back into line then as they go through turn 5. And look at this, down the inside at 6. Oh, they're close together and they remain too wide as they go on through here. So that's going to be Widders trying to find a way through on one Mr. Jason Bentz. They've cost themselves 3 seconds already to Tom Freer in this 5-car scrap. And Jack Widders trying to be uber aggressive. Can't quite get it done just yet, but that Conrod is going to be so important for everyone here in this pack, because they know that it's going to be all about who can get going. Widders had a poor mountain down the hill, and suddenly there is 0.4 of a second, and Widders may be looking backwards here.
Yeah, very good work by Shepherd and Preston. No one making contact as they go above the mountain, and they all together fly down Conrod Straight. Big drag. Everyone's trying to fight for position. They'll want to stay to the inside, but not too far. Not too far to the left. That they're going to be too shallow for their exit speed. But
close, so close.
Very
that
close.
Was getting a poor run out of the Forest Elbow. Shepherd couldn't quite find a way around, so the waiting game comes in, and look at that from the back of the pack there. Andrew Dyson had just caught up to it, realised he was being held up, and well, it says bet smart on the side, please gamble responsibly, but that is the decision to come down onto the lane, followed in by Brad Newman. So at lap 11 of 28, the pit stop cycle has officially opened.
Yeah, very smart work by Corey Shepherd. Seeing like could risk an accident and could be held up. So yeah, the smart move is to get in now and try and get that overlap, get some clean air. hopefully between himself and number 13. But
well, we're getting a look here right now of Mitch Mcleod. He is out of the event in the talking car. Oh, there's the slide. There's the huge slam into the concrete wall there down the hill. It's always so tough to get that place correct, and Mitch Mcleod will not be happy at how he's done that. You can see down the hill, just gets a little bit of unsettling there as they go over that dip. If you attack too hard through that section, Nick, you get tyres off the road, you then are fighting for grip for the next section, and at that point of road, you have no runoff area.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Mitch Mcleod. No assistance in coming off there. It looks like he has come off on his own. Just catch him, Andrew Dyson now back out on track, so...
this is Briggs.
Oh, sorry, Briggs, sorry.
So this is Dyson in 26th position right now, and Nick, when you talk about now getting clean laps in underneath, this is where you start to look at it. This is the front two, though. We've got on the screen Burton and Myers. Burton has been saving fuel since about lap 5 of this event, and Brady may ever so slightly have a little bit of damage on the other side of the vehicle. We'll try and get a good look at it here as we go on through, but that really is not ideal. They can see scrapes on the left-hand side of the vehicle, part of iRacing's damage system, not the new damage system, but still a damage system. But at this point in time, Brady Myers may be a little bit disadvantaged in a straight line.
Yeah, looks like his tyre rods look relatively straight, but yeah, he may have just scuffed the walls coming down the mountain, which is obviously so easy to do, especially shown by Mitch Mcleod just before. But it looks like that could give Burton the leg up in this battle between the two of them.
Certainly could. That's Corey Preston in on the lane. He was part of that big battle pack, so we look backwards to see who's going through. Kokoschka and Collins having a good fight at the moment. On the brakes, turn 1, not quite close enough. Where is Dyson compared to things going on? A huge wiggle off the curb, but Kokoschka's going to bring the battle in. We'll see right there in the background, there is Andrew Dyson going through, and Corey Preston nowhere to be found. So that is Corey Preston a long ways back. Here comes Collins down the inside of Kokoschka at turn 2 at Griffin's Bend, and he's going to have to try and hold it on the outside, but there's all those dirty marbles there on the outside. That's going to reduce the grip, and just like that, to hold it through on the Mustang.
Yeah, great. Oh, I was going to say great work by Collins by keeping it clean and holding his ground, but it looks like he's just had a tap from behind, and yeah, now they're running too wide again through. A wiggle there as well from just trying to catch that car, but
Kyle George.
Oh,
see
George,
here on the Motor Simulation replay just how aggressive Kyle George was trying to be. Round the outside, catch it on a super slow-mo going through. Has to really get out of it to avoid hitting the wall. The back steps out, and there's a nice little correction from the United car moving on forward. There's one for your sponsors to have right now. Race leader in. Brady Myers, remember, has been on the fuel a lot more than Jake Burton had to be. So this is the first stop, lap 13:28.
Sorry, Jake, I just caught over the top of the mountain as well. Samuel Collins had a big accident going through the dipper, so he's actually, looks like they may have come together. Yeah, you can see that damage on his car now. They may have come together just after we cut away there. We'll just catch the modem simulation replay on that.
You certainly will. Down the hill, you can see through the left, through the right, and he's gone in very hot then into this corner, and back, and it all just piles up there. Sam Collins, not much you can do. And for Kokoschka as well, he had nowhere to go. A great flick spin right in front of Corey Preston. That wouldn't have made him very happy, but ultimately enough to get away with it.
Yeah, it's exactly through the dipper. You don't want to be facing the opposite way because, yeah, as you can see on board with Corey Preston, it is blind coming down there, and the last thing you want to do is see a Commodore facing the other way, almost thinking that they were part of the Holden stunt team there.
Wow.
Corey Preston's probably had his heart jump out of his chest a little bit on that, but yeah, doesn't look too phased, able to keep it going.
Well, I'd be completely phased by that. That was spooked. Myers is back out in 13th position right now, and he's got some clean air, which is the last thing that Jake Burton wants to know at this point in time. He knows he's got to try and cover this move then at the end of lap 13 if he wants to get himself best possible place, and it's those pit stops which have been vital in these races so far this season. Burton knows exactly what he needs to do, and that is just to put the right result together. A clean pit stop cycle here would guarantee everything that is possibly needed here in this race. See, moving on towards the left-hander here of the final corner, and he immediately covers off the move then by Brady Myers. Down on the lane, Jake Burton, car number 1, in position number 1 right now, makes a stop. Here's the fight going on. Tom Freer has been past Steve Janssen, but Janssen immediately dives for the lane.
Yes, and now seeing a few more of the top guys come in. So, yeah, all eyes will be on Jake Burton as he exits the pits. Just try and catch where Brady Myers is on track. Just seen him come down into the final corner, so it is going to be so close.
Absolutely it is. Right now you can see these drivers, they're all on the lane. Burton should be off of his jacks. There goes the battle of Borg and Tixier and Martin Hansen. There off of the lane goes Burton, but there is Brady Myers, and Myers has done well on this outlap here. They're going to be side by side up the hill as they go on through, are they? No, Burton's just got enough, but there is going to be a chance of a run here for Brady Myers, unless he wants to play that fuel save game right behind Burton. See Burton hard on the defence. This is for the net race lead, mind you, and Burton defends the place and takes the lead away. So now Jake Burton has to keep Brady Myers behind, but Myers will be absolutely looking at himself going, how on earth have I lost out in that stop?
Yeah, Myers may want to capitalise on this half a lap now while he does have the advantage with the tyre temperature, but it looks like he will have to wait now until they cross the top of the mountain to try and make any moves. There is a few slower cars now in front of him, so that is going to bunch him right up together. Yeah, flash the lights there, as you can see from
position.
Yeah, for position.
This is the issue he's got. It's Marty Hansen, Brian Borg, and Sebastian Tixier. This is Tixier first that Burton's got to negotiate a way through. You can see down the mountain, he's stuck, angling for that inside. There goes Myers to the outside, trying to pick a pocket or two. He can't get it just yet, but Tixier now under pressure. Burton's going to get a storming run, and now Myers has to follow. At every stage then, in this one, he has to follow as they go on down the mountain here. Tixier keeps himself in line. This is not what he wants. Lights flashing from Brady Myers. Come on, let me go, Sebastian. I've got a battle here for the race lead. And on the brakes, he has to do it here. And he gets the place as he goes through. So Corey Shepherd takes the race lead as Tom Freer dives down onto the lane, followed by Taliancic. Pursuit on strategy. One comes in, and Marty Hansen in the Redback Racing Team car, as well as Sebastian Tixier. So Burton now will jump into at least 4th place. Brian Borg will be next to overtake.
Yeah, Tixier coming down the mountain may have been looking behind, because he did actually clip the wall there out of Forest Elbow, but yeah, as you can see, that damage down the left-hand side, quite a lot of damage there on that Ford Mustang, but it looks like Burton and Myers will have a bit of a gap now to in front of him, so they can race cleanly and not be collecting any other slower cars out in track.
Absolutely. We got a good battle here, and you caught exactly the same as I. That was Bolton and co having that scrap out on circuit up the hill. There's nothing on the front there of Brad Newman's car, I do believe. I want to go on board here with Brad Newman and see just how that vehicle looks then from in terms of, does he have anything covering it? We're going to see it fantastically from this shot, and you can see there is nothing covering it. So he's got a whole heap of engine cooling, but he's got no aerodynamicism.
Yeah, as that you can see, Mitchell Bolton right on the back now, so could be a slight aero advantage not having that bonnet there and getting that extra drag. So looks like not if, but when Bolton will get past him.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be a case of how much can you hold on if your car number 17 looking to try and make this push on the top of the mountain through McPhillamy and towards Brock Skyline once again, looking to make this push. Peter Brock, of course, the 9-time winner of the Supercars Bathurst 1000, and that was something that will probably be one of the few records that will struggle to ever be beaten in our lifetimes. But back down the hill once again, those to come along. And now look at this, Brian Borg has become a big factor in this one here. Brady Myers has to go to the outside. Borg exit stage left onto the lane. In fact, that will be an exit stage right, actually, onto the lane, because left and right are mixed up in stage hand terms. But look at that gap, almost a second now. Brady Myers has got some work to do.
Yeah, Brian Borg, very good at getting out of the way early, like not wanting to tamper with the lead of the race, obviously. And it was also a good opportunity. It looks like nearly most of the cars now, Jason Bentz is still out in front, but most of the top cars now have pitted, and it'll be a run to the flag.
Absolutely, this is Janssen and Widders at the moment on the road fighting for 6th and 7th. Jason Bentz yet to come in and make a stop. This looks like it could be a fight for 5th and 6th potentially. Widders, very aggressive as a driver he is, and looking to try and make his name. On the brakes down the inside he'll go, and he just about pulls it up there on the inside. Janssen slots back into position, and just like that, Jack Widders then moves himself up into 6th overall as they now go into the cutting.
Yeah, seeing so many overtakes now up on that mountain straight. Oh, big slide from Brad Newman. You can see he really is under pressure now, so trying to hold back. Just going to a modem simulation replay there. Yeah, side by side up the mountain again. Oh, and they do touch, but Brad Newman just managing to hold on to that place with just his fingertips now.
Just the fingertips. He put everything into holding that place, and he's got a whole heap more laps to make sure that he keeps himself in that position. So, for the time being, stay behind, why don't you, Mr. Bolton in the 14th position. This is going to be a tall order from now to the end. We are expecting Jason Bentz to come down onto the lane pretty soon, if not now, so we'll see hopefully in the next few minutes when he decides to come down in. But on the brakes, huge correction, trying to keep the car pointed in a straight line. These vehicles are so difficult, they've got so much power going to that rear axle that you've got to deal with oversteer and understeer in these cars at exactly the same time, Nick.
Yeah, that's right, Jake. They are a very undertied car because they are quite heavy, are quite powerful, but have very, very narrow tyres. So yeah, there is a lot that goes into it to manage the oversteer and understeer. As you can see, so much feedback from the cars as they power slide out of the corners. So spectacular to watch. Looks like Bentz is staying out for another lap. By the looks of it, I'll just look on the timing screen.
Yeah, it looks that way. So there is Jason Bentz, who leads the race here on lap 17 and 28. He gets himself a nice little smile as he goes through. Oh, big slide. It's a snap-on the side. That was a snap-on of oversteer going through. But this is a key gap to look at. Jake Burton has got the gap out to 1.1 seconds right now. That's a key number, because that means that the slipstream, that dirty air effect, that punch through the air, becomes limited. And that's what we're seeing right now from Brady Myers. He's got to get back within a range, start closing that gap back down, and he knows that Jake Burton feels that these are the most crucial laps of his race.
Yeah, that's right. And Myers, with the tailwind down Conrad Straight, won't be able to make it up in the straight. So it looks like he may have to take a few risks, brake just a little bit later. Looks like Burton did hit his braking marker spot on as he went through Forest Elbow. So yeah, Brady Myers potentially looking at that race victory just walk away from him.
So easy to lose time. It's so easy to make a mistake. The track does not forgive. This track does not forget. Back to that 13th place battle, the battle of the unluckiest. This is Brad Newman and Mitchell Bolton at this stage. And look at Newman. He's sliding through every single corner in the one performance car, trying to get every bit of performance out of a vehicle which will be down in a straight line. In comes Jason Bentz. Let it see. Come and make his stop. It looks like from the timing stands, the gap down to 9 seconds. So no, I think he's just had yes, he has, sorry, just come down in and made that stop. So Burton through, Myers through. Where will Jason Bentz come out? He'll have the freshest tyres of anyone to go and attack all these drivers at the end. This is what's known here, Nick, as the overcut.
Yeah, that's right. And with Jason Bentz as well, so he did start in 5th position. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out. It does look like he will be shuffled down the order, so potentially holding off like he did may not have paid off like he thought he would. Yeah, so it looks like he's big slide. Oh, and a big slide from Nick Coulson as well. So it looks like it may come out in 11th position. So just catch a replay of that.
We absolutely will. Power on the exit. There's the green commitment cone. Say he can go and return to racing B. Gets on it straight away. Oh, huge slide there as he gets out of the pits, and he nearly had an egg on his face at that point in time. But Jason Bent was going to stay on the replay because is he immediately up to speed? As this is Sebastian Tixier, who I think's run into troubles here at the final corner. Through he goes into the left and loop it around and bang into the inside pit wall, and that will be the end of Tixier's race.
Yeah, wise move by Tixier, grabbing that toe. Was poised in a pretty dangerous position on track, and yeah, not a lot of steering lock on these V8 supercars, so it'd be quite tricky to do like a 3-point turn to get it aimed straight. Just catching Jason Benson and Damian Johnson. Oh, a lot of twitching from Damian Johnson's car as he comes through Skyline. Yeah, they come down into Forest Elbow, so looks like he might just be close enough to get a little bit of an aero advantage there. Jason Benson again locking up the tyres, so yeah, it looks like everyone's pushing quite a lot, trying to get their time back on who's in front.
Exactly, this is the key. Jason Benson needs a lap, get the car up to temperature, or the tyres up to temp, and then go out there and really attack in these stages of the event. This is 7th and 6th position right now. Corey Shepherd's caught Steve Jansen. Mustang on Mustang down the inside. Mr. Antenna looks for the move, and he can't quite get there at the moment. There's a nice smile there from the man on the front. He looks a little bit like Archer from Archer, if you've had any sort of going on. But on the brakes into the left at turn number 1. Cannot quite get the way through, and there's a motion simulation replay. I believe we've seen something huge side by side as they go through. That's a massive off there for one Mr. Brad Newman, who's decided, you know what, I'm going to bite the bullet, I'm going to go straight on. Bolton misses everything through all of that and somehow kept it in a straight line, but a big slowdown would have come from all of that. Oh no, that's not fair sport. That's not fair sport at all.
Yeah, Mitchell Bolton taking such an aggressive move, trying to dive down the inside where a gap just wasn't, but yeah, looks like they've managed to get it back on track, so yeah, quite a wild ride, especially for Brad Newman. Yeah, you can see Bolton trying to, just way overcommitted into the back of Brad Newman there.
Mr. Nim Cross, if you're watching this, you might want to have a look at that. But we go back to live racing action at this point in time. Newman is back in 16th position on the back of the tray. You've got Clint Shane Smith, you've got another driver there, Brian Borg in that pack. But this is Shepherd and Janssen still in position as they look to try and make their way through down the left and rights here of the mountain and trying to get that run to the Forest Elbow. Now, pick up the run, a big wide line being taken there by Corey Shepherd. He's trying to put the power down on the exit here to attack Janssen and gets a good run because of it. Jack Willis is only 1.4 seconds down the road, so hard to the right-hand side they go. Shepherd now needs to get to the inside as quick as possible, but that will turn to the outside for the next corner. Janssen gets himself behind at this stage, has to slot back into line, hopes that the brakes are all fine and dandy. They're at the coldest point when they hit the brakes here, but that is comfortable, very comfortable for Corey Shepherd.
Corey Shepherd yet again doing another clean pass. He never seems to get a scratch on his car, where there is quite a few battle-scarred V8 supercars out here at the moment.
Seems to be the case. Look at Brian Borg now, trying to get by Clint Shane Smith for 14th place. Runs slightly wide. He'll be on fresher tyres there with the sponsorship on that fantastic, very chromy-looking car. That's very, very nice to look at. Through the left of the final corner, wide goes Clint Shane Smith, and that's cookies. 2 positions for the price of 1 mistake as they go on through, because Brad Newman is picking that one up for his own.
Looks like Clint Shane Smith, if he can sit in behind Brad Newman, he may be able to get that position back, but yeah, very, very unlucky there. But the lap previous, he did manage to evade that dicing between Newman, so I've just had Brian Borg seems to have sorry about that, Jake. Yep.
Yep, some good battle has been going on. Brian Borg, of course, has got himself up into 14th. We're looking at Coulson and Johnstone, though, at this point in time. Here, car 29 against car number 9 as they head up the mountain through the metal grate corner. There was the metal grate, and you can see just how close they get on the exit. Oh, right up to the wall for Damien Johnstone. He's using all of his road tact that he's got available to him as he goes down on the brakes, through the lefts, through the rights, and now trying to just open up as much as possible. This is the street circuit feel to this street circuit. Doesn't look like a street circuit on paper, but what this is one of the great street circuits, no doubts about it.
Yeah, that's right, Jake. And you're exactly right. It is a public road, so you can go out and drive there. Obviously not at these speeds. And yeah, Bathurst Light Car Club also hold a lot of events here as well. So yeah, there's always so much action on the mountain, in sim and also off.
And for those who don't know about Mount Panorama Bathurst, is that when you drive these roads in public, you can only drive them other way around. You drive the track backwards because it's a one-way road all the way around that section. So that's, well, you can drive it both ways, but most likely, if you're trying to get to the destination you need to, you go the other way around. But for the time being, it's Damien Johnstone there in 11th position. In 12th position, trying to chase down Coulson in 11th, but he's not quite in that range to make that an availability at the moment. The race lead gap with 8 laps to go here at Mount Panorama Bathurst is 1.7 seconds right now for Jake Burton. Brady Myers keeping him honest, but he's losing a 10th here and a 10th there. It's the Michelangelo effect, chipping away at the marble statue. It's a case of artistry here from Jake Burton in just breaking the spirit.
Yeah, Burton just out of view now from Brady Myers, so yeah, you can focus on what's going on, not having Brady Myers fill up his mirrors as they come down the mountain and putting him off. But yeah, looks like Brady Myers might not just have it. There is 7 laps to go, so a lot can happen between now and then. Could be lap traffic, could be all kinds of things, but yeah, by the looks of it, does look like Burton really does have that upper hand now.
Looks like open empty road to me, so Jake Burton, he's got a long run to go through. Bolton and Brian Ball close to 13th and 14th position. Borgie trying to get anywhere near, doesn't take the curb there through that fantastic McPhillamy Park section and down the hill. He tries to start gearing up for this move. 0.3 of a second between them through the dipper and now more as they go on through this next section of corners, and this is fantastic to see on the brakes. Big slide there, over rotation from Bolton, had to gather it back up again slightly going through that corner, and this could be the chance that Brian Borg was waiting for as they go onto the Conrad Straight, looking for the move. Get this one happening down to 0.2 of a second. It'll be down to a 10th as they rise up under the Mitsubishi Fuso bridge. And now look at this. Inside line will turn to outside here as Bolton will try and defend, but ultimately lifts out of it and gives Brian Borg the place.
Yeah, Brian Borg, picture perfect. Yeah, picking Brad Newman off exactly where he needed to be.
Oh no, Coulson.
Nick Coulson looks like he's having a few issues. May looks like he's just spun it on that last corner.
Looks like a spin. Motion simulation replay. You can see this. Damien Johnstone just behind. And oopsie daisy has gone straight on. And no grip from those tyres once they've spun. So he's found himself with a very elongated spin. He quote unquote had control of that, but that is a low speed spin, and those are the worst because you think you've got enough to gather it back up again. It's almost like you need to just slam on the throttle and almost mash it to try and get it back going again.
Yeah, Murray's Corner is always so tricky because it is quite downhill as you get into it, and yeah, quite a high curb, so you really need to pick your apex right. But yeah, if you can make one mistake like you did, yeah, it's all over.
So easy to do. Jack Willis, though, in the top 5, having to hold off Mr. Antenna himself, Corey Shepherd, here as they go down the hill, through the left, through the right, trying to get close enough to make any opportunity a reality here for that top 5 finish. Tom Frears 6 seconds down the road at this point in time, but what's crucial here is that Jack Willis has not been able to massively get away. The tyre line, it's equalised right now. Only a second and a half back is Steve Janssen, who could be coming back into this one here in the late stage with a good late race setup in terms of looking after the tyres, but you can see through the fastest corner in Australian sim racing, Mr. Antenna, Corey Shepherd, can't get close enough right now. He has to sit, he has to wait, he cannot find himself that move through just yet.
Yeah, and Corey Shepherd, knowing that those laps are ticking away, so yeah, just under 4 laps now to go. Yeah, very, very quickly running out of time, so he really needs to get under that wing and to get that overtaking done on the straights.
Oh, Christian Smith here, Brad Newman. Oh, right up underneath. Big slide trying to get it all slowed up for Brad Newman. Here comes the Redback Racing Team car trying to get through Marty Hansen. Well, he's going to look like he is Superfly as he goes on through and straight on. That's a big mistake. He's Shane Van Gisbergen's it. Has one Mr. Brad Newman. Does a nice flick spin. Does he keep it going or is he going to retire the car? That's the question. I think he's going to keep going and he did stall it, so he had to try and get himself back going again. So he does, but Shane Van Gisbergen will be proud of that recreation.
Yeah, Brad Newman in the last couple of corners so hard on the brakes because as you can see the feedback from the steering wheel, massive slide going into the chase. He just seems a bit too aggressive on that brake pedal. Coming down into Murray's corner, big downhill run. There's a pit entry. Oh yeah, way too fast, and he's completely flicked it around the wrong way. So there you go. You can see the stall there. So. Yeah, precious seconds getting away from Brad Newman. It will look like he'll be rejoining about 18th position. So, unfortunately, that is his race. That is his minor position race done. Corey Shepherd. Jack Winners.
Jack. How much are you pushing as he goes on through? And Corey Shepherd now has a golden goose before him. If he wants to get this move done, lines it up for the inside turn outside. Widders now has got to really defend this one, but he's going to let him have it. Heavy over the curb though there was Shepherd through the chase. That would have unsettled the car then on entry, and he runs wide because Widders has still got an angle here and uses the power around the outside to defend the place. All unlocked by that little clip of the curb at the fastest corner in Australian sim racing.
Yeah, great job by Widders. Not only power sliding through Forest Elbow, but keeping the throttle down and managing not to lose too much time. But yeah, getting back in front. See if he can hold that 5th position. He's only got now 4 laps left. So yeah, running out of time.
I'll give you one more on that. It's 5 laps to go. 24, 25, 26, 27, and the all-final lap, lap 28. Jack Widders has got a whole heap of things to do. Gap at the front now at 3 seconds. There you can see Shepherd not close enough, but all of that fighting and side by side. Look on the back of this one. Oh, hello. My name's Steve Jansen.
Yes, Steve Jansen capitalising on that battle because yeah, you could only a few laps ago he was back by over a second, so it looks like he has pulled that back to around half a second. And yeah, one wrong move between Jack Widders and Corey Shepherd, and yeah, Steve Jansen will be back in it.
Absolutely, and that's going to be key then for this race for the top 5. You got Widders there. You were seeing this one from behind, just how brilliant that section of road can be, and look how close they are. You can see there's just a prancing horse, not quite a Ferrari prancing horse, but a horse of some kind, a thoroughbred, trying to chase down that Holden in front. So Jack Widders, a lot of work to do. Try and hold himself into position. That would be a Mustang in front, as clearly my eyes deceive me and I've gone probably blind of some kind. But at this point in time, Corey Shepherd wants that move, needs that move, and has everything he needs to do. In fact, it is a Holden, so I was right first time. As they go on through, 2 Mustangs behind trying to chase. But for the moment, Jack Widders looking like he's got all the mirrors occupied as they go through the right-hand kink and on the brakes, and they go along. It's going to be positions stay the same.
Yeah, Corey Shepherd may not have been just out of Forest Elbow, might have been that little bit too far back, didn't get that run, so might try his chance again on Mountain Straight, coming into that, up the mountain and into that headwind. Just catching up. Oh, there's the gap now, yeah. So over 3 seconds now from Jake Burton to Brady Myers. So yeah, Jake Burton, it's now his to lose.
Absolutely, he's got everything that he needs. There's Adam Briggs in third position. He's 11, nearly 12 seconds off the lead. That's fourth position. That's Tom Freer at the moment. Quiet drive, great drive from Tom Freer. He's had no real worries here today after his big scrap in that pack that he had going on. But there is Jack Widders at the moment in fifth position, up over the curb there, coming out of turn number 2. And this is the big scrap that we're looking at right now as they go on the brakes, up the hill, through the cutting, and now back onto the power again. Got to be careful about putting the power on too early out of the cutting. It's so easy just to loop the vehicle around. But these drivers who have done hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of laps, virtual laps around this place, they'll know every nook and cranny.
Yeah, and as Jack Witt is showing, like just coming almost within centimetres of that pit wall. Yeah, they come down through the S's now. But yeah, as you mentioned before, both Briggs and Freer and Tom Freer getting a very lonely drive there. Plenty of space around them, just chipping away. Here we see Jack Witters coming back down into Forest Elbow. Corey Shepherd holding a really tight line, so see, yeah, it does look like he's a little bit too far back now to make a move. So yeah, let's.
And if he finds a way through, it's going to be one of the places that we're going to be seeing that. Sorry to Stewie Thunder again, Mr. Skarajev. But at this point in time, this is going to be interesting. One driver who would have been pretty near this battle would have been Corey Preston, but he has retired the car about 10 laps ago with an incident out on circuit. We didn't quite catch that one, but Corey Preston out of the race, and a shame to see from someone who was having a really good driving thing out there on track. 3 laps to go though, as these 3 drivers for 5th, 6th and 7th cross the start-finish line. They're going to be in a little bit of a scrap at this moment, as is that battle just behind them, if we can get cameras onto it in just a moment. There you can see Andrew Dyson, there you can see just behind Michael Talianchi.
Yeah, Talianchi too seems to be keeping his nose clean most of the race. He has moved up a little bit, but just catching Cole George there. Brad Newman, very aggressive with the accelerator, both of them. It seems to be a lot of sliding, both from Newman and
George. This isn't
George,
quite an expression session, but now look at this. Kyle George down to the inside, has to hit the brakes. There's got to be something on the wheel that's not aligned straight, because look at that. George has to have a wiggle going through, and look at Rob Bowden, the very British Tank SRT car behind. He'll be really approaching these two, having their own little slide about at this moment in time. Up the hill they go. Newman fight this one back then on the inside. It's covered by Kyle George, and Newman has to commit to the outside line, trying to open up the corner as much as possible, but you look again, there's nothing there.
Yeah, definitely seems to be most aggressive out on track, Brad Newman, wanting to
hello. Hello, where did that one come from? But he still can't get it done.
Yeah, it seems to be changing lines under brakes right at the last minute, and definitely keeping Wayne on his toes there. Rob Coulson now back onto the back of those two now, so potentially could make a move. Rob Bowden on both of them.
Well, Rob Bowden actually fighting here with Kyle George and Brad Newman as they go down on the brakes. You can see how close Newman is. 2 laps to go for your race leader, Jake Burton, but look at how Brad Newman is having to really navigate. And you know that there are some countries that don't call drivers, they call them pilots. At the moment, this is piloting at the moment from Brad Newman, sideways through every corner trying to keep a race together.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many corners this lap where he's actually had it pointing straight through the corner. But yeah, Brad Newman absolutely using every last millimeter left of his tire. He's absolutely pushing as hard as he can. Oh, such a great sight seeing.
9.5. You could have got a bit closer to the wall as he went on through, but lap and a half to go. Corey Shepherd still behind one Mr. Jack Widders. Can he find what he needs to unlock this place?
Yeah, Corey Shepherd just holding off just holding off on Jack Widders. he has managed to maintain that gap, so might be waiting for a few more laps just to get that move done. But Jack Whittis is quite aggressive when fighting back, so maybe he might be worried that Whittis will try and take the position back.
Well, Jack Whittis now doing enough, having to defend here on the brakes into the Forest elbow. The white flag lap coming, the final lap of this event. But look at this run from Corey Shepherd. He thinks he's got the chance now. You can see he's tucked up underneath. Aerial perspective of this one then. Whittis going through this section. Shepherd's going to angle to the left-hand side. That's going to give him the inside here at the chase. So the last lap starts for Jake Burton. But look at this. Jack Whittis here trying to hold on to this one here. Shepherd down on the inside gets curbed. And Whittis just taking that outside line. Better traction. Holds on to the place for at least this lap, but the final lap will be a different prospect altogether, as they will have to fight almost 30 seconds off of the race lead at this point. Slightly slow through that final corner goes Whittis. Maybe a look at one could come for Mr. Antenna in car number 11. That is Corey Shepherd trying to find that overtake, and he can't quite get there at this moment in time. So he waits again. This is the mountain straight. This is the one that leads to turn 2. A tougher place to get the move done than down the mountain, but almost as valuable as an opportunity. Has to look to the outside. It's already covered by Jack Whittis, though, who had himself a car length as they went on into the right-hand corner. So now it becomes a waiting game between those drivers as they run themselves up towards the cutting. Turn 3, turn 4. We look behind from the rear spoiler as Holden versus Mustang goes on at the moment as they move on through the right. So that's all nice and calm for the moment. This is all about setup through this section, all about staying within a range, staying within a number, and Jack Whittis has just got to be flawless here for this top 5 position that he's got right now on the final lap as he moves on through past the metal brake, now towards McPhillamy, and the final section going up the mountain, now down at Brock Skyline. This will be a big scrap between these two as they move on down. How good has Corey Shepherd been at setting up this overtake? He's had a couple of attempts where he's shown parts of his hand, and that slide through the dipper will not have helped proceedings there for him. He's got to be so committed through this right-hand bend. But here comes Jake Burton, who will take himself through the final section, laps Kokoschka as he goes, and this was flawless from Jake Burton. The mastermind has done it again. Jake Burton wins at Mount Panorama Bathurst. It will be Brady Myers back in second, a wait for Adam Briggs in third, and Tom Freer in 4th position. But look to 5th, because it's not quite close enough just yet for Corey Shepherd, and the gap starting to extend here. So that's going to mean, for those who are looking for that one going on, it's not quite happening just yet. On the brakes, Jack Whittis holds for a top 5.
Yeah, that's it. Jack Whittis so strong under brakes, and yeah, it looks like Corey Shepherd admitting defeat a little bit, not making a last move in the last corner. Oh, just catching. This is a replay of Damian Johnson and Jason Benz there.
Indeed.
Yeah, bit of a last lap scrap there for to try and get that last top 10 position.
Need a Staples button for that, because that was easy. Stay on this, because look at this for Damian Johnstone. I wonder if he gets this one back here as he goes on through the fight. We're going to see this right now. Look how aggressive he's trying to be, trying to harass Bent, and look at that. Jason Bent straight off the road, and does he gather it up? He's trying everything to do so. He tags the wall, and once, twice, and straight on, bit of contact. Jason Bent, the wild west. It was certainly not. That was more wild New South Wales as he went on through. But ultimately, Jason Bent finds himself 11th only from that one. With that all put in the books, we can get up on your screen for you the official classified result here from Mount Panorama Bathurst. Jake Burton wins by nearly 5 seconds. He was 3 thousandths short, as it will become a Holden 1-2 with Myers there in second. Adam Briggs gets a very well-deserved podium in 3rd overall. Tom Freer, quiet drive in the second half, but was very busy early on. He gets 4th position with Jack Whittis in 5th. Corey Shepherd couldn't find a way through in 6th. Steve Janssen we see in 7th with Andrew Dyson in 8th. Michael Taliancic picks up 9th. Damian Johnstone, well, we saw his dramas on the last lap. He still picks up a top 10.
Yeah, just catching 11, Jason Benz. So the one that pitted a little bit later, having that last lap scrap in 11th. Nick Coulson in 12th. Brian Borg in 13th. Mitchell Bolton and Clint Shane Smith in 14th, 15th. And Marty Hansen in 16th. Hedderschild in 17th. Cole George, Rob Bowden, and Brad Newman wrap out the top 20.
Well, we saw how much entertainment the human highlight reel was in the form of Brad Newman. Mark Rayner there, 21st position. Scott Fountain didn't make many places in this race, but he'll still take a 22nd to the bank and cash it with James Chasternerf in 23rd position, with Christopher Beresford in 24th. Greg Sharp and Sam Collins become the final drivers on the leading lap, and we see Stephen Kokoschka will limp his way over the line 4 laps down, and then it's retirement central for Sebastian Tixier with Corey Preston, Michael Rosenblatt, 2 more over the page. Mitch Mcleod, Sam Devontier, the retirements here today from this race, Mount Panorama Bathurst. So, some brilliant racing that has been going on, some brilliant stuff that has happened here today. But the best thing about these official race series, Nick, is the fact that we do it all again 1 week from now.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jake. Yeah, the mountain putting on such a show again, like obviously famous for its endurance with the 1,024-hour events. But yeah, even the sprint races are just an absolute nail-biter on the edge of your seat.
Of course, you can catch that on the iRacing Esports Network, as well as so many other brilliant things that will be going on in terms of the next weeks and months that will be happening, including a fantastic announcement that the VCO will be having their own race of nations. Effectively, it feels just so much like the former World Cup of iRacing, something definitely that you'll want to tune in for as and when that happens. But a massive thanks, of course, to those who get it done for us. Of course, to Motum Simulation, who have been on the replays here for us today. From Nick Skarajev there alongside me, from Jay Kennedy on the cameras, I've been Jake Sperry. And it's been brilliant for Burton. Once again, the best track to win at. Some say more important a victory this is than the overall championship. It was a very strong result once again. One they can be very happy that they have been able to collect from all of this. But 1 week's time from now, we head to Mosport. We head to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. It's a track which many drivers who have been racing around know all too well. It's quick, it's fast, it's flowing, it's furious, it's everything that has an F with it. And ultimately, if you want to be truly at your very best, you got to go at a place where it is so easy to get it wrong by going ever so slightly offline. We'll see you in 1 week's time in Bowmanville, Ontario.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got with the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top. Oh my God! Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled.
This is very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?